So there's a few answers given. This is a book. This is a Hasidic discourse, which was said by the fifth Lubavitch Rebbe, Reb Shalom Dober, known as Rebbe Rashab. And in the year Tafresh Samach Vav is 1906. In 1906, he began saying a discourse that lasted over 3 years. He would share it over on Shabbos, he would share it on Yom Tov, over the next 3 years, explaining this concept. In short, he says as follows. When Rosh Hashana falls out on Shabbos, first of all, he says, how can a rabbi, even Amora, a great tzaddik like Rabbah, how can he tell us not to do a biblical commandment? How can a rabbi say, don't do the biblical commandment? The Torah says we should blow the shofar on the first day of Rosh Hashana. How can a rabbi say we can't do it? So, he says there's an ancient concept, which this is not his line. This is actually brought down already in the Gemara, and it's brought down in Jewish law, that a rabbinic decree is allowed to temporarily suspend a biblical commandment as long as you're not actively violating it. You're only passively violating it. What does that mean? The rabbis can't say you're allowed to eat non-kosher. Why? Because the Torah says you shouldn't. You're not allowed to eat non-kosher. The rabbis can't say to actively violate a commandment. However, when the Torah says to do something positive, like blow the shofar, the rabbis can say, passively don't blow the shofar. That is allowed. So from a halachic perspective, that's okay. However, we spoke in previous videos that there's incredible energy that's being drawn down. We're appointing Hashem as our king. We're inspiring ourselves to do tshuva. Aren't we missing that? And he answers in this Hasidic discourse, very thick book, very beautiful explanation. He says that when we blow the shofar, we want to give Hashem the pleasure. Let him feel the pleasure of being a king. Let him feel the pleasure of people listening to his commandments. When we blow the shofar, which is Hashem's commandment, we're giving Hashem pleasure. And he's like, I get pleasure from people listening to me. From humans deciding to listen and following my decrees, my mitzvot. Therefore, I'll continue creating the world. I'll give them another year. When we don't blow the shofar, we don't have that energy. But Shabbos itself gives Hashem pleasure. When we keep the Shabbos, by not blowing the shofar, that high level of energy is naturally in this world. And Hashem feels that energy. So by not blowing the shofar on Shabbos, that same pleasure is given to Hashem, and Hashem decides to keep the world. So it's not that we're missing the energy of not blowing the shofar. Shabbos itself gives that energy.